Alright. Halloween-A-Thon 2019 time. We're going to start with the park. Yes, we will start as soon as this loading screen is done. Any day now. The park. I have played a little bit. Okay, we have subtitles on. I'm going to Disneyland! Not really. The park is a narrative experience best played in a dark room wearing headphones. It deals with subject matter that may be disturbing to some players. During the course of play, the park may manipulate graphics, audio, control settings, and your sanity. This is perfectly normal and should not be any cause for alarm or psychiatry. The park. I am well aware of this game's history, though. I watched Achievement Hunter play it, so I know what the game is like. But also because I watched it, I was like, what is this game about? And I know it is a spin-off of the Secret Worlds game. Which
My heart and mind. I always return to Atlantic Island Park.
Where's Mr. Bear?
I haven't seen Mr. Bear, Calim. Stay in the car. We'll go and ask information.
this will not be an achievement guide. I've already gotten all the achievements, so I'm well aware of what. That one achievement was just to book it up that hill. As I say, no, I am aware the game is part of the Secret Worlds. Or, as it's now called, Secret World Legends. And I am well aware that every single goddamn spooky thing in our mythology is in this. So, I'll see if I can find a note here. I do want for later on in October to have one video be the Secret World Legends, specifically the storyline around the park itself. Here we are.
Kids, you gotta admire their imagination.
A kid from the academy told me this story, so don't blame me if it sounds silly. He might have just been poking fun out of poor Townie, but I'm writing this down because the league needs to know. William D. Someone is living in Atlantic Island Park. At night you can see him there, tall and thin and ragged. A man in a suit who seems to disappear whenever he moves into the shadows. 7 of the kids from Innsmouth Academy snuck into the park over the fence one night. They wandered among the rides in the closed stalls. They could feel someone watching them. When they went to leave, there was only 6 of them. The weird thing though is that when they got back to the academy, none of the adults noticed that there was a kid missing. It was like the adults had had their memories erased. That the missing kid and everything about them was just gone. The kids at the academy tried to remember. They call the man in the ragged suit the Bogeyman. And they say to be careful because if he gets you, the whole world might just forget about you. Interesting lore. I just wish this game had a kind of a run button. What was that? Her hair is in a bundle, so it must have been just her shoulder. I'm getting lost. I'm getting dizzy. Anyone who doesn't know, the Secret Worlds game is basically an MMO where it's 3 secret societies: Templars, Illuminati, and the Dragons. And basically they try and stop monsters such as the Bogeyman, zombies, and all that stuff. So basically it's a game where all mythology is real.
Calim was born the day this place opened. This is his favorite place in the world.
A tribute to the untamed heart of Solomon Island and the people who used their talents to bring the dream of Nathaniel Winter to life. May this park be a place where joy and laughter are gathered and used to infect all those who will follow after. Dedication this first day of May 1977, James B. Longley.
What?
I'm tripping balls.
Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine. Don't blame yourself, Lorraine. People lose things all the time. Take a deep breath and think about the last place you saw your son's teddy bear. Hey, stop! I think your boy just ran into the park. I'll unlock the gates for you.
How does he know the information about her? How does he know about the teddy bear? Like, we're literally miles away from that.
Wait up there for Mommy, Calim.
Catch me, Mommy.
Nathaniel Winter welcomes you to Atlantic Island Park. Oh man, look at that creepy smile.
Wait for Mommy, Calim.
This way.
Read flyer. Welcome to the park. Yeah, I'm not reading all that. I only played this game.
Special about the entrance to an amusement park. A line drawn between the real world and the world of whimsy within. On this side, the apathy of our everyday lives. And on the other, anything we might dare to dream. It's no wonder Calim ran back inside. I wouldn't want to leave either.
Attention employees, the park is now closed. Have a safe journey home.
Someone needs to fix their light bulb. Also, like they drove out all the way out here for the park and it's shut. Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Also, in the nature of the games themselves, Secret World and this, the park itself is basically an emotion eater. It drains happiness from people and makes them depressed.
Park.
Oh, there is.
It's easy to get lost here.
Basically, the Boogeyman drains people of happiness to sustain himself.
You can't catch me.
Stop, Calim!
Oh man, that thing has got the fright and some shit. Hello, who's that on top of there? I see you. You know what? I never noticed him on top of the building.
Calim! Where did you go?
Over here.
As I said, each ride is designed to drain people's emotions to sustain the Boogeyman.
I think this belongs to Calim. Come out, sweetie.
Come on.
Read the
Chad the
plaque.
Chipmunk, huh? Just a
Chad
drunk
the
guy in a
Chipmunk,
suit.
worst in class. Chad can't even seem to pass. Chad gets angry, likes to fight. Chad is beaten every night. Chad will have a dead-end job. Chad will die a useless slob.
Wait for Mommy! I wonder what this
way,
is.
Mommy.
Purchased the land on Solomon Island for a pittance. I might add, whatever old Archie Henderson did to this to locals, just a mention of his name had people slamming doors and locking shutters. From the moment I arrived on the island. My lawyers had arranged everything in advance, but the realtor still had to come and deliver the keys to me personally. He took it upon himself to offer me another warning. I don't know what you're planning to do with this land, Mr. Winter, but the soil here is bitter with a curse carried from the old country. Old man Henderson, he did terrible dark things. The land remembers, sir. I dismissed him shortly afterwards, mostly amused by his pathetic attempts at warning me off. I have a great vision for this place and the will to see that vision through to the very end. Atlantic Island Park. The name is perfect and I cannot imagine it being anything else. This is the start of something amazing. Yeah, I bet it was.
Where are you?
Over here.
I'm not playing anymore, Calim. Calim, stay where you are. Stop, Calim.
I mean, like, I could just sit here and wait for him to come around, but I want to sit in the dock.
Come on, Mommy.
Calim.
Right, time for this long ass cutscene. Only sure I will not be getting on this ride again. I will not pull it. Achievement Hunter.
Calim, where did you go? Calim, where did you go?
Near a great forest, there lived a poor woodcutter, his wife and his 2 children. A boy named Hansel and a girl named Gretel. They were very poor and had very little to bite or sup.
Like trying to catch butterflies for dinner. What'd you expect?
What will become of us? The woodcutter asked his wife one night. I tell you what, husband, we will take the children into the thickest part of the forest tomorrow and abandon them there. No, my wife, I cannot do that, said the man. Then we will all 4 starve, you fool. Hansel and Gretel overheard their parents talking, and Gretel began to weep. Do not fret, Gretel, Hansel said. He crept out of the hut and gathered white stones from the ground to fill his pockets. The next morning, the woodcutter leads the children into the forest. Before they leave, their mother gives them a slice of bread and warns them that they will get no more food that day. Clever Hansel.
Hey, how's it going?
White stones behind them as they pass into the woods. When their father
Evening.
leaves them, the children wait a while, then follow the trail back to their parents' house. After receiving a thorough scolding from their parents for getting lost in the woods, the children are sent to bed without any supper. Hansel tried to sneak out and collect more white stones, but found that the door was locked. Tomorrow
Why not
I will
use the
take them
window?
into the woods myself, the wife told the woodcutter. In the morning, their mother gave them a slice of bread and led them deep into the forest once again. Hansel broke his
Spooky.
bread into pieces and left a trail of breadcrumbs to lead them safely home. But hungry-eyed birds snatched up the breadcrumbs and his trail was destroyed. Abandoned by their parents and unable to find the trail home, the children wandered in the forest for 3 days. The children stumbled into a clearing with an exceedingly strange house. Its walls were made of gingerbread, and its windows were panes of clear sugar. Hansel, desperately hungry, ran forward and began to nibble on the walls. Nibble, nibble, little mouse. Who's nibbling at my house? An old woman emerged from the house, sniffing the air and peering around with cloudy eyes. Oh, you dear children, who brought you here? Just
I was gonna say, oh, shame they have. I wonder why they never made, like, Disney or anybody made a Hansel and Gretel movie. And then I remember the one Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter film that came out a good few years back.
their cruel mother. Come, children, don't be afraid. I have something.
I wonder, has Disney ever made
The old
a
woman
version of
offered
Hansel and
2
Gretel?
enormous lollipops. The children took them and began to eat. You see, nothing to fear here. Come inside, the old woman urged, and the children, still licking their sweets, followed.
Dun dun dun. Ow.
Once inside the house, the old woman changed. She stuffed Hansel into a cage and put Gretel to work, sweeping and cleaning her hut. Your brother will make a good mouthful, the old witch told Gretel. Once he is fattened up, I shall feast upon him.
Oh, how lovely.
Time passed, and poor Hansel refused to eat, fearing the day that the witch would eat him. The witch, for her part, grew impatient. Today I will cook and eat your brother, Gretel. Climb inside and light the oven. But Gretel pretended not to understand. I do not know how. Where is the opening? Fool, the old witch said. The opening is here. And she moved to show Gretel. Seizing her courage, brave Gretel gave the witch a shove, and the old crone tumbled forward into the oven. Gretel slid a large iron bolt over the door to the oven. Gretel freed her brother Hansel, and together they lit a fire beneath the oven. And though she screamed and begged, the children sat by the oven until her screams had stilled, and the witch was cooked. And then, because even children can't survive on sweets, they divided up the body of the old witch and ate her.
That's not the way I remember it. Must be the dark and edgy 90s remake. Wait, this game I think is set in the 80s. Oh well. Enjoying the ride? Stop's coming up soon. Have a pleasant day. Alright. That took way... That one always takes too long. I think it was like 10 minutes. Right then. Now that that's done with, let's get out of here.
I used to read it to Calim when the electricity was shut off. Those poor children. The whole world against them. The forest, the birds, the old witch. even their own parents. I used to imagine that Calim and I were the kids in that story. Not mother and son, but brother and sister, hand in hand against the unkind world. We were always hungry, looking for our own house made of candy, looking for the sweetness that could take the pain away. Hunger leads people to desperate, terrible places where the tree branches reach like claws.
There we go, there's the run button again. I forgot.
Another accident. This place.
Oh, wow. Mr. Bear needs some help seeing. Despite the constant interruptions to work, Atlantic Island Park will be opening on time. The governor has booked to cut the ribbon until the only real question is whether we will have any customers. I'm not truly worried. The customers will come out of simple curiosity. I deduced that what was needed from the banned writings of Archie Henderson. It's astonishing to think that a resonance of positive emotions can be used to fuel such a process. Henderson himself chose to use negative, and that caused some of the taint that still lingers in the place. I will not make his mistakes. Very soon I will know if this has all been for nothing. Yep. So, as I said, he's using positive emotions to fuel something.
Mother duck said quack, 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 quack.
But no little ducks came back.
Wait, Calim! Come out, sweetie!
The amusement park it is pretty bare bones though. It's like one ride there was the witch's building earlier. This ride, Ferris wheel and bumper cars I think up ahead. You'd think they would have expanded.
This old thing used to make the blood run to my head. Make me dizzy.
I think there's more notes around, so we just keep an eye out. Hello, there's a note out there. Frustrated by the fact that the plan seems incomplete. I know as well as anybody that the rules of the game can be changed with enough money. But no matter how much money talks, it can't conjure up missing plans from thin air. I've tried contacting the organization who sold me these plans, and they are stonewalling me. Every contact that I had, every meeting place that I have had watched, are swept bare. I have a sinking feeling that I've been swindled. We've gone ahead with what we could find in the plans regardless, the harvesting machines, the transport mechanisms, etc. I'll probably let Nicholas name them something cute for the day we open the park. They will be rides after all. His plans are coming to fruition, but he's hitting the roadblocks.
Oh, I remember this.
That is a picture of people who do not want to be there. Or did not want their picture taken. I swear there was another note around here. But where? Where is the notes? Ah,
The
there
guy
it is.
just snapped. Those poor kids.
Eyewitness report Atlantic Island Park incident. Officer on duty Sheriff F. Bannerman. Witness name Norma Creed. Is that Creed or no Creed? I think it's C. Creed. That's my only gripe with this game is that depending on the resolution of your TV or computer, these things are so hard to read. Statement. We were waiting for our turn on the ride. Frank, me and the boys, this fellow in the chipmunk suit was making an ice carving while people took photographs. Lawrence wanted to go over to him, but I've always been a bit wary of those suits. They give me the creeps. It's silly, I know. Anyway, the chipmunk man who was carving and picking away at his ice, and at first we thought he was making some animal, like a tiger or a lion, but it was more and more the ice fell away. When you first looked, it was like a human face smiling out of the block of ice. The more you looked at it, the more you saw that there was something not quite right about the proportions, something unnatural that made your heart begin to beat just a little bit faster, like you were prey and that this thing in the ice was the hunter. But then these teenagers walked up and one of them made a face at the carving and said something rude to the guy in the chipmunk suit, and then he went berserk. For a few moments it was chaos. Everybody was running away from the guy who had one of the teenagers on the ground, and he was stabbing with the ice pick, and blood was spraying and people were screaming, and Frank and I had the kids and we were dragging them away as fast as we could. And the last thing I saw before Frank dragged me away was that the eyeball of one of those poor kids had landed on the ice sculpture, making the horrible creature look more or less alive. Oh, that's nasty. That's very nasty. It's real nasty right there. The guy had all the joy out of him sucked away.
I can't get on while it's moving.
Oh, decrease speed. Okay, let's get out of this death trap. Hello? Who's that in the boot? Something's not right in this place. Not right at all. Hello, sailor. Say hello to the Bogeyman. Oh yes, that's the type of scares we're going to be witnessing today. Well, we're already at the half-hour mark.
Treachery hides in thoughts. Treachery that lashes like a whip and scars our insides. The first time I saw Calim, my thoughts betrayed me. I looked down at this wrinkled, red, bawling thing and I thought, is that it? We build our world from expectations, and the world that I had built for Calim was no different. He was so real, so there, and so far from my expectations. And they shattered, and as they fell in pieces, that one treacherous thought became a new foundation. All of the love that we shared, all of the warmth and goodness that followed, built on a single, traitorous thought.
Looks like someone's getting their joy drained away. I thought working in the park for a summer would be a lot of fun, but the end of the season here really drags. There aren't that many tourists around, and so most of the staff spend their days standing around gossiping, and most of that gossip is about Chad. I mean Steve. See, even I'm starting to call him Chad, and I went to school with the guy. It's that goddamn suit. In the beginning, it was a laugh. Steve, the local lush, as Chad, the chipmunk, child-friendly mascot at Atlantic Island Park. Lock up your daughters and all that, but the more he wears that suit, the weirder Steve is getting. At first it was little things, like refusing to change out of the suit at work, and taking it home with him every day. And then I saw him at Susie's diner, still wearing it, and it wasn't even a work day. Some of the staff complained discreetly to park management about the smell, and I saw him walking and talking with Mr. Winter, the owner, one day. But nothing seems to have changed. The suit still smells like a carcass whenever Steve walks by, and apparently Steve has picked up some new skills since the last time I saw him puking up in a gutter outside the sickle station, because he sure as hell can carve a mean ice sculpture. Those shapes he makes in the ice, though, they give me the creeps. Steve came by the booth today, looking at me, and he just hung around for a while. I couldn't really tell because of the suit, but he seemed like he was just staring at me, sizing me up, eye-fucking me whatever he was doing. I asked him what he wanted, and he just stood there, not saying anything. Eventually I called my supervisor, and when he came by, Steve wandered off. My supervisor told me to put everything in writing, so here it is. Also, I quit. I don't want to see that chipmunk suit ever again. Laura Hello. I forgot that was gonna happen. So yeah, Steve went insane. Next on our list of fun-filled activities, bumper cars. Oh yes, who does love a good bumper car?
Constant crashes and 80s music. Guess it floats someone's boat.
So the deal here with her is that after she gave birth to Calim, she got depressed. I think it's that postpartum depression. But because this was the 80s or 70s, mental health wasn't that great. Doctors didn't care about mental health or that, so they gave her a couple of shock therapies. And just stuck her on medication and said, right, good day. And that was it.
I wonder what this is.
Nathaniel Winter, financial genius or eccentric geriatric? Okay, it's left side. When Nathaniel Winter, billionaire mogul, announced his intention to build an amusement park on the fog-shrouded shores of Solomon Island off the coast of New England, there were sniggers up and down Wall Street. Winter, who made his fortune through a series of savvy investments during the post-war boom, has long been considered an eccentric but brilliant man. His passion for the New England region has always been at the forefront of his investment portfolio, with him pouring funds into local businesses, small and large. In general, his business sense and investments have paid off, and due to his generosity, Winter enjoys a friendly relationship with the governor and other key political figures. So why, with a track record like this, are the Wall Street wizards shaking their heads? At first glance, Solomon Island is an odd choice. The tiny town called Kingsmouth, with a sleepy main street, a preppy academy for dropouts from Boston, a lighthouse that is already in the process of being automated, and a belligerent tribe of natives who were very recently involved in a dispute over the Blue Ridge mines. Does it make sense? One commentator pointed out, New England has a short summer this far north, and the number of visitors to Solomon Island for reasons per season are limited. I don't see how he expects to turn a profit, but others have far more faith in Winter. Under condition of anonymity, an engineer who's seen the plans for the park notes several anomalies. He's digging far deeper than is needed for an amusement park. including several underground chambers which are too small to house mechanisms. If you ask me, the old man is looking for something buried beneath the island itself. Could this be the real reason that the eccentric businessman has relocated to this remote northern island? Is this corporate mind? I can't read that. It's too. I can't read that. It's just the way it's written. I can't. Of the highest order by a crafty entrepreneur, with the dispute over Blue Ridge Mine with the population ongoing, there is definitely something buried beneath Solomon Island. Perhaps Nathaniel Winter is going to surprise us all. A lot of these stuff coming up are all plot points that eventually pay off in the Secret Worlds MMO. Like, this island is the first area of the MMO that gets struck with a zombie apocalypse. Hello? Read. Dissuade them. They have sent an inspector to investigate the accidents at the park. I've given him the grand tour and spoken about all of our safety upgrades, but he seems unconvinced. In this case, the park itself is working against me. This doorman has become more and more intricatable the more time he spends in the park. I've offered to pay for his stay in the Overlook Motel and get him out of here. It seems to have made him even more paranoid. I don't think this man is going to allow me to my park to stay open. This is a disaster for my ultimate goals. So yeah. Even the park itself is dying. Basically, the note about Henderson is Henderson tainted the land, and anybody who tries to use the land can't because of all the negativity he has in it. Francis Dufresne, employee name. Time and date of accident/incident 25th of October 1976. Job titles and departments. Laborer working on the crane. Supervisor lead person Richard Stapleton. Witnesses Lawrence Creed, Michael Edgeworth. Brief description of the incident. During the transport of the bumper cars into the arena, one of the straps attaching the load to the truck became untied, causing a cascade of bumper cars onto Francis, who was standing directing the driver. Francis was crushed by the weight of the cars. Describe any injuries caused. Francis was killed. Did the injured employee see a doctor? Yes. If yes, did you file an employer's portion of a workers' compensation form? Yes. Dexter, the truck driver, claims to have seen someone on the back of the load undoing the straps. Nobody else reported. There's Fear has finished installing. Nobody else reported seeing that. The sheriff has requested that Dexter provide them with a urine sample. What could have been done to prevent this incident? Double checking of the straps after transit should have been mandatory, and drug screenings for all drivers. Have the unsafe conditions been corrected? No. 26th of October 1976. Hello. Let's go for a ride. Ouchies. If anyone's wondering, Layers of Fear is not part of the Halloween-A-Thon this year. It's the DLC I'll be playing. I played Layers last year, so I'm going to focus on the DLC campaign this year. Maybe Layers of Fears too if I can get it, but I don't have that much money at the moment. Maybe if it's in the Game Pass.
It's a matter of public record that I am a failure as a mother. Once, when Calim was very small, I left him asleep in the car while I ran an errand. Don't even remember what it was. When I came back, the sheriff was standing next to the car, watching my boy through the window. I didn't like what I saw in his eyes. Judgment. He wrote me the ticket without saying a word. Just the scratch of his pen on the notepad. When he gave it to me, our eyes met. I know what you're going through. My daughter, Helen, she just gets some help. Help was a bolt of lightning. Help was 1,000 volts surging through my veins. Help is agony. I'd rather die. I wanted to scream. I'd rather you pulled your gun and shot me. But instead my mouth said, yes, Sheriff.
Continually delayed by the incompetence of the builders. The problem is that they are locals, and so they believe a lot of the rumors about what Old Man Henderson used to do here. They grew up on these tales. Every time a boat comes loose or a wrench goes missing, those fools are crossing themselves against the black magic. Of course, that's why I chose this site over all the other potential Solomon Island. Solomon Island is a nexus for dark energies, and the thought of all that power just dissipating beneath the earth here, it makes my skin crawl. I called in a few favors back in Brooklyn and got someone at the local academy to see if they had any interesting books about local history. Turns out they do, and it turns out that the Old Man Henderson was some pretty strong connections to the Brooklyn crowd. Perhaps something he wrote will help me find a piece of the plans I am missing. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Let's see what we have down this side of the road. And that leads back to the Octotron. So we go from the entrance to the duck game, to the Hansel and Gretel ride, to the Octotron, to the bumper cars, to the Ferris wheel. Next it will be to the roller coaster, I believe, and then to the carnival games. Or it might be the way around, like the roller coaster is last and the carnival games are before that. Right-ho. Let's see what we have in store for us today. A note.
So they are going to close this place down. Doesn't surprise me.
State Bureau of Fair Rides Inspections, Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. State Inspection Report. Inspection date September 22nd, 1980. Inspection result unsafe, closed the park. Inspector comments after touring the park, riding the rides, viewing the startling number of incidents suffered here in the park. It is the inspector's opinion that the Atlantic Island Park should be shut down until Nathaniel Winter complies with all safety regulations. While I understand that there is a sense of political relationship between Mr. Winter and the senator, I nevertheless suggest that such political considerations be set aside in condemning Atlantic Island Park. The rides at first glance appear well constructed and maintained, but the sheer number of incidents in the park during the last few years and during construction led me to believe that there is something wrong in the base level of construction, and we should close the park and fully investigate these flaws. To wit, here is the partial list of fatalities in the park since opening 2 years ago. Family of 3 killed when a roller coaster cart derailed. 14 separate instances of broken bones, crushed ribs while riding the Octotron. 3 suicides from the top of the Ferris wheel. A child seriously injured on the escalator. Over a dozen children reported missing in the House of Horrors since its construction. 1 report of a drowning in the Tunnel of Tales. The sheer volume of incidents means that it's my strongest recommendation that the Atlantic Island Park be closed immediately. Signed, David Woolsist. Alrighty then. I do not know why I did that accent. Oh well. So yeah, park be fucked. And we're getting on these unsafe rides. Up we go. I haven't pressed the B button in a while.
People come into your life for a reason. Dad used to say that before Mom ran off. After that, he mostly just drank. Things were different for Don and I. When we met, I was sweeping the floor at Susie's diner. He came in with some workers, but he didn't try to flirt or cop a feel like the others. He just ordered a coffee and sat there, watching me. When my shift was over, he offered to walk me home. I don't know how to describe that walk. We talked and laughed and eventually kissed. It felt like love. It felt like a fairy tale. I can't tell you if Calim was made that night or one of the ones that followed. But I think it has to be that night. That one perfect night. Dawn and I moved in together, but then, well, he died. According to the supervisor, his safety harness failed when he was working on the top of the Ferris wheel. Dawn was there one moment, and then gone. Sometimes people leave your life for no reason. I was 3 months pregnant with Calim. Fairy tale fucking over.
The fog seems to be rolling in. Hello there, sailor. It seems our friend is still following us. Right, next on our list of fun activities. Sweet Mary Jesus. Someone needs to fix this place. I honestly do not watch the appeal of Ferris wheels. I'm not that good with heights.
Please, Calim, tell me where you are! Don't be afraid. A lot of people idolize their children. You hear them talking about their kids and just the way they talk, their fucking voices make me want to vomit. My angel likes to read, and little Johnny is so good on the piano. Fuck those people! You give up 9 months of your life carrying them, you traumatize yourself giving birth to them, and then you spend the rest of your life as their slave. Wiping asses, mopping up piss, feeding them. Little life-sucking monsters who take and take and take until... we all go insane. Any parent who pretends otherwise is just dishonest. That's called choice supportive bias. I am honest. Calim really grinds my gears, and he owes me everything. Everything. It'd serve the little fuck right if I just abandoned him.
And all the emotion, joy is nearly gone.
Where are you? Calim!
He's watching you.
Where he's watching me.
I always wanted to ride this one. Never got around to do it before.
Damn it, I can't go back here. I think I might have missed the notes. time for a nice roller coaster. G'day.
What do you want?
We need to talk about Calim.
What do you mean? What have you done to him?
That's insulting. You and your boy are everything that this place doesn't want. The antithesis of what we stand for.
Where is Calim?
The poor child. He tried so hard to do what he was taught. He even left you a trail of breadcrumbs. But the park is just so hungry.
Tell me where my son is.
The witch has him now. Has both of you. No happy ending here, I'm afraid.
Just leave me alone.
Fool. You always were.
Oh, he's dead. Game over. Oh well. I went into trousers after that. Right. One lone tree just sitting out there.
The witch awaits.
How do I get out of here?
Calim! Calim! Calim has bruises on his arms, finger marks. Someone has been hurting him. I've asked him, demanded really, to know where he got the marks. But he doesn't want to answer me. Something has scared him into silence. He doesn't dare talk. He's been changing too. Something sinister lurks in the darkness behind his eyes. I catch him staring at me at odd moments. In the night, he tosses and turns and cries out words that I cannot understand. When I try to soothe him, he snaps and bites at my fingers. I think he wants to talk to me. I think he wants to tell me. But they are watching him every minute of every day. They are whispering to him in his sleep, changing him. They are taking my baby away from me. I can save him. And there will be pain. But I love him, and in the end, he will understand why. I can help you, Calim.
Mommy, I'm scared.
Sideshow alley. Alright, this will be the last area before the final section.
The whole town was shocked by that one. Never found out who did it.
Candy corpse leaves sour taste in park goers' mouths by Hal Laurel. Yesterday evening, visitors to Atlantic Island Park were shocked and horrified by the discovery of a dismembered corpse behind the cotton candy stand. According to the local authorities, the corpse has yet to be identified. However, they have confirmed that the remains appear to be those of a child. The corpse was discovered by a group of teenagers from Innsmouth Academy who noticed a pair of ravens tugging at something just out of sight behind the shack. Nathaniel Winters, the owner of Atlantic Island Park, has released the following statement. It is truly a tragedy when something like this occurs, especially in a place that was designed to bring forth happiness and joy. The staff of Atlantic Island Park offer their condolences to the family and friends of the victim and will cooperate fully with the authorities to bring this case to rest. The Solomon Chronicle will provide daily updates as this case is going forward. Yes, something is going on in this place. Something not nice and not natural. And the gate's locked. Oh look, a cotton candy stand. With blood.
Oh, bastard. Who did this to him?
Well, he's down for the count. How's it going? Oh, it's just obvious that scare was coming. Pills, pills, glorious pills. Oh, someone turned down the gravity. Cannonball.
Don't touch me.
Okay, I've never seen that one before.
Oh, God, no.
And we're down for the count.
The park is a collage of contradictions all of its own. Millions of
It's evil
people
within.
die every year in car crashes. And the park has little cars designed specifically to simulate that action. Hear the children scream with joy. In the sideshow alley, you can walk away with 15 cents worth of mass-produced Chinese teddy bears while a grinning carny pockets your hard-earned $5. And what secrets lie beneath the sullen waters of the lake? The tears of jilted lovers, the soiled condoms of illicit affairs, the clotted blood of the lonely suicide. And the face of the witch looms over it all. I've always despised her toothy grin and warty nose. I hate that sparkle in her weathered, watchful eyes. I think Calim is waiting for me. Inside.
But the Bogeyman is also waiting on top. So let's the games begin. Yeah, it's kind of a short game. We're already at an hour mark. But, yeah. It got me into the MMO. That's all that I care about. I only haven't played the MMO in a while because for some reason every time I try and quit out of it, it causes my laptop to crash. That was a while ago, so I probably could have fixed it by now. And here we go. Atlantic Island Park has closed its gates. A jeering throng of townfolk gathered as we hung the heavy iron padlock on the gates. Small-minded fools, scared of what they don't understand. My machines lie silent and dejected, but I am not beaten. I have sent my wife and son back to Boston, and I have returned here to the House of Horrors. I must think. Huh. Hello. Well, look whose shadow it is. Oh, you can't run in here. Incidents, and I cannot dismiss them as random chance. The park works, but something is interfering with its intended function. It is though the very air in this place is corrupting the power even as I collect it. A few casualties here and there are acceptable, but when employees go on stabbing rampages it draws attention. I'd rather not have the boys in blue, either kind, investigating this place too closely. It's a shame about Steve. I rather liked him. So yeah, Steve was corrupted by the park. Oh, boo yourself.
One little duck went out one day.
Hang on a minute, what was that other way then? There was a doorway I missed earlier. That's the way I came in. So what was this door here? Nothing. Complete waste of my time coming down here. That's really a scary house of horrors, is it? Right, we'll book it through this now. Nightmare Circus. A circus burns to the ground on opening night, killing dozens. The owner is put dead by an enraged mob of townsfolk. Just as he shouts out a curse, now Raven, a dark soul wanderer, comes to the ruins at dusk in search of his missing mother. Let the show begin.
After they let me out, they gave me Calim back and sent me home with a handful of breadcrumbs. Home, bittersweet home. I barely recognized it. Where there had been color and light, there were shadows and regrets. Where there had been warmth, there was a bone-deep coldness that never went away. I tried my hardest to keep the ghosts at bay. Don, watching from the dusty corners while I tried to teach his son to read. My father, coldly assessing me and finding me lacking. I devoted myself to Calim and did the things that they told me. It will get better, they said. Every day will be a little better than the last. I'm in the woods now, lost and afraid. Things never got any better.
Well, they couldn't pay the bills for power. Hunger. Donner family. I never believed that was the shocking true story. Yeah, no it's not, because we weren't there. I always hated these things. Milk, cheese, bread, butter, corn, potatoes, apples, fish sticks. Remember, drop off Calim, electricity bill, fix faucets. Lorraine, I received your letter and I am surprised. You ran off with your father all those years ago, then disappeared off the edge of the map, and when I finally tracked you down, refused to answer any of my letters. And now you write to me asking for help. I have another family now and another life. Your father was a horrible man and I regret the years that I wasted with him. I loved you, I truly did, but every year you grew more and more like him. You were his girl, never really mine. Still, I would have fought for custody if you hadn't run away with him. It broke my heart, but I needed to go on living. I can't leave you back into my life without picking up old wounds. I'm sorry, Renee, I just can't do it. Maybe one day it'll be easier and I can meet Calim, but not yet. I'm not ready to forgive you. Please don't contact me again, Karen. Miss Mallard, as we agreed in our meeting today, we consider you fully recovered from your illness. This letter is official notification that you are considered sound of mind and body and may return to work at any time. Please note that you should discontinue any medication that you have been using and dispose of any remaining medicines. If you feel at any time that you are suffering a relapse, please make contact with your local physician immediately. We wish you good health. Dr. Spencerton, Witch Medical. So she was on pills. Her mother won't help her out. This is a bad life. Notice. Lorraine seems to be suffering depression from that began early in her pregnancy. Our discussions have made it obvious that these episodes stem from the grief of losing her partner, Don, who died about 6 months ago. There is also several unresolved issues with her father. After being kept under careful observation, we provided standard treatment for this disorder, including electroconvulsion therapy. The patient responded and made rapid recovery. Yeah, so basically they didn't do shit, they just shocked her a few times. Goes, yep, you're good. Our inquiry into the estate of Mr. Donald Williams has been completed. We regret to inform you that the primary beneficiaries of his estate, including the life insurance settlement for the accident deaths, was listed as Rose Williams and Richard Williams of New York State, deceased parents. Our agency has made contact with Mr. and Mrs. Williams and explained your situation, especially as regards the birth of Donald's son, Calim. Unfortunately, they were not receptive to our overtures, and they were specified without any legal proof of biological relationship. They consider you ineligible to receive any of the monies from Donald's estate. They have asked that we no longer contact them regarding this matter. I understand that this may have a negative impact on your current financial situation. I hope that you are not being too forward when I enclose the bill for our services with this letter. Basically, an asshole attorney. Wow, everyone is being an asshole to this woman. New letter? It's a letter from Dawn that I can't read because the writing's too small. And I'm not getting off this chair.
Don't
Not getting out of my chair.
One little duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, quack, quack.
Basically, now we go around like 10 loops this area until the shit goes down. So, let us walk. As we go, the place gets even worse and worse.
I'm a horrible mother. Where is he?
Ow. Oh, this place is getting creepy. Oh, still can't open. Nice pick.
Who was that?
Alright, we should be near the end of this loop now. Whoa. Hello, neighbor. Someone's going insane. And we reach the end game.
Stories are told again and again, and from their shape we build our understanding of the world. Two children are led into the woods. They are lost for a time, but then are captured by an old witch. The child goes missing in Atlantic Island Park. He wanders lost for a time before finding his way into the mouth of an old witch. In the oldest version of this story, the mother and the witch were the same person. I never wanted to be the witch. But I am, aren't I?
Kids broke in today. It has been so long since I heard laughter, so very long. I took one of them. I couldn't help myself. It was fast. The others didn't notice. I like hearing him laugh. This boy from the academy. I put him on a slab. I tickled him until he couldn't breathe. My machines came to life, whirring in time to his gasps and shrieks. I think this is delightful. The change wrought in me by the machines is not yet complete. There must be other children I can lay on my slab. So yeah, basically, Winters used the machines to turn himself into the Bogeyman. And he still needs more kids to finish what he was starting. Hansel and Gretel.
Don't leave me! Leave me alone! Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Calim. Calim! Calim. Calim. Calim!
Cthulhu shirt. Yep, and that's how this story goes. Boogeyman forces her to kill her own kid. And because he's killed by the Boogeyman, she cannot remember at all what happened.
Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine. Don't blame yourself, Lorraine. People lose things all the time.
Hey, you look familiar.
Take a deep breath and think about the last place you saw your son.
Bookends.
In my heart and mind, I always return to Atlantic Island Park.
And that's the end of the park. Yeah, it's not that scary, really. And to understand even half of what's going on, you have to look up all the stuff about the Secret Worlds game. Like, why did a guy walk in with a bee in a jar? Because in the Secret World, bees, there's magic bees that grant people powers, which is how your character in that game can use all magic in that. It's because he has a bee implanted in him. That also makes you them immortal. And the whole problem is she's the first person to get a bee implant artificially implanted, and she appears in the game at one point. I haven't reached that point yet, but it's an alright game. It's only like $20 maybe. Literally just, if you just play the game, you get every achievement by the end. The only achievement you could miss is literally just walking back out of the park, leaving through the mist area. But that's the park. That's the first game in the Halloween-A-Thon for 2019. This will probably be the last time I play this as well. The park. The end. Alright, we're done here. I'm outie.